I'll start by creating a new file. Try except example. So now the first question is, what is try except? Okay, why does this thing exist? So try except is basically when you have, let's say you're trying to do something, okay, some sort of an activity you're trying to do, and when you're doing it, there might be a chance that there might be some issues while running this particular thing. In case of, let's say, an example can be you're trying to do a division operation. Okay, it's a very classic example. You're doing a division operation, and while doing the division operation, if someone supplies the second parameter as 0, then it becomes an error. So by default, this particular statement is not wrong. Let's say if I'm writing, for example, like this, so let's take from the user. So a equals to taking from the user, I'm writing int because I want integer input. Please enter number 1. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing b equals to once again integer input. Please enter number 2, and I'm doing like this. Print division result is a divided by b. And if I run this program and I enter, like, please enter number 1 is 10, second number is 5, the answer is perfectly fine. The division result is 2.0. But if I run the same program, I write the first one is 10, the second one is 0, it becomes an error. See, after this, it doesn't print anything. It becomes an error. It shows you some orange colored text over here, which is some error text. And you find out that process finished with exit code 1, right? So it didn't work out. Now, how do you prevent this kind of situations? Now, the code is not wrong. The code is correct. But while you're trying to run this code, you might find out some different issues regarding this. So how do you solve this problem? You solve this problem in this way. Instead of printing just the division result is a by b, just try to do a, so you can see what kind of an error you're getting, right? You're finding a 0 division error. So this is the issue that is happening. So you can write like this. Try to do this. So we are trying to print the result, except there is a 0 division error. And if it is so, then you want to print so we tell like this, that try to do the division and except there is a 0 division error. In case it is so, then please say that division is not possible for the divider being 0. We run this time I give 0 as the second argument. See, it just prints this message and we get exit code 0. If exit code is 1, I mean anything other than 0, that means there is some issue. Exit code is 0 means everything ran perfectly fine. So we found out that please enter number 1 10, please enter number 2 is 0, and division is not possible for the divider being 0. So this now is fixed, but if I write down correct values right now, still it will be working perfectly fine. See, when it's correct values, it tries to do this. If there is a problem, then it comes over here. This is basically your try except, right? Try except works in this particular way. So let us try to see some more examples. So you understood the number 1, number 2. Now let us say here I am saying the 0 division error happening because I am giving a 0 as a second number. What if I run this program, let's say, and here the number 1 I'm entering correct, the number 2 I enter some text. Now this is also impossible, right? Because we have written that it has to take an integer. I'm writing a text. If I press enter, you'll again find out there is another error known as value error, which was not taken care over here. So we wrote what to do in case of 0 division error. We did not say what to do in case of value error. So let us do that also. So I can put another except over here. You can keep on putting as many excepts as you want. So this except, just see, during division it will not happen. It will happen over here while doing this part. Here it might happen. So running this, please enter number 1. We are entering, let's say, 10 and 5, and you can see the output is 2.0. That is perfectly fine. This is the okay case. If I want to go like the input is something else, this message is coming, but at the same point of time, this is also coming, name error. Name A is not defined. That is because of this part. Here it is getting a name error, this line. See, line number 9, this line. because now this one got done. See, remember what happens whenever there is a problem in any of the lines, it will directly jump into except part. Since there is a problem in line number 2, it directly jumped into except part without actually putting some value in A and B. There's a problem, it will immediately leave everything over there and jump over here. Now in our case, we want to execute this line only if these two are perfect. We do not want to run it separately. So now what is happening? If that is getting blocked over there, it comes to accept, and then it jumps to line number 8 to the second try, and it tried to do line number 9 where we had this particular thing, and this one failed because A and B were not having any kind of values over here. I mean, there was nothing in A and B. A and B was not defined. So, but we do not want this division to take place even though there is no A and B. We want the division to take place only if there is some valid A and B. So I'll cut it, I'll paste it over here. So I want them to happen in a series. The first, this one, if it is correct, then this one. If it is correct, then this one. If something goes wrong in any of the situations, we don't want to do the division at all. So this except can directly be put over here. So all the excepts can be put over here. So now if I run it, if there is a zero division error, it will give me zero division error because here something goes wrong, it comes to the except part, right? Any of the except, it should match. So this one matched with zero division error, it told this one. If I give a wrong value, it immediately stops executing these lines. It will directly jump here in the except part, and it found out that this one is matching. So this one is matching. So it actually printed this particular text. So this is called try multiple excepts. Okay, so the first one I showed you, that was one try, one except. This is multiple except for one single try. That is what is going on. Another way we can handle this particular thing, which is not a very good way. In fact, another two ways are there, which is not a very good way, but we can still do it. How? See. Here in this case, I do not want to handle these two errors separately. I want to handle it in one place. I can go like except this or this. And the message, then I have to show some generic message because I will actually not know whether it is value error or zero division error. I'm just writing, considering everything together. I can just say something went wrong. So now either it is a value error or it is a zero division error. Now either it is a value error or it is a zero division error. In both the cases, it shall be coming over there only, right? In the same message. Let's try to run it and see. Number one, I'm entering something bad. It says something went wrong. Okay. If in number two I enter the bad data, then also it will be something went wrong. If here I enter the correct data but a zero division, then okay, it could not read it. The odd part was not taken. Okay, it did not find it out. It is not able to see it if there are multiple things on single line. All right, so in single line it is unable to find out. This particular syntax is not working on. Let us not use this. Okay, another thing that I was talking about, if in single line you have to write down, do not write anything. Just write except. Then in single line it will work out perfectly fine. Now see this. If I run it, enter number one, I am entering some wrong value. You can see this taking. I am entering some wrong value in the second one, it is taking. And I am entering some wrong number over here, then also it is taking. So no matter what you do, if you just write an except, it will take for every sort of error, every kind of error. It will not give you, it will not, you're not specifying for which kind of error you want to do it. You're saying except, means anything goes wrong, you please come over here, right? And that is why I'm writing something went wrong, because it is difficult to find out what went wrong exactly, right? So you're trying to find out that, okay, fine, whatever went wrong, you go ahead and you kind of come over here, right? So it is trying to do that. If something goes wrong, it can. Now, but remember this, just writing an except, it makes the process very easy because you do not need to write down multiple excepts. But this is to be avoided as much as we can, because here we are losing the information that what kind of error the user got. So we cannot show him a customized message. I have to show the generic message. Something went wrong. He will be like, what went wrong? What exactly went wrong? I mean, it can be a user who is trying to, let's say, enter number one and he is writing, let's say, 5 like this. And it goes wrong. So you cannot show with a particular message. But in case the same thing he had run over here, you can understand that we are going to tell him that, hey, value that you entered was not correct. So if here he enters 5, he'll be like, the given input is invalid. So he has a clear idea of where it went wrong. So he'll be like, okay, fine. So the input is wrong. Let me figure out how to correctly do it. That is why it is always better to go for this kind of structure than this kind of structure. So now we shall try to understand there is something known as finally. What does finally do? So when you have tried something and whether you have received an exception or not, so this is an exception, right? This is also an exception. Whether an exception is received or not, you under any conditions you want to execute any a particular code, let's say. Okay, I'll give you an example you understand. Let us say we are trying to do something like this. Let's say we are trying to make an application that talks to the database. So we are writing something like this. Let's say try. It's the first line we are setting up the connection with the database. I'm just printing, I'm not doing anything, but just giving an example. Set up database connection, operate on database, and close database connection. These three things I want to do, let's say. Now, if I want to do these three things, and here let's say I'm putting an except, thinking that if something goes wrong, that will be taken care of. Over here, I'm not printing that. Retry. Right? If something goes wrong, it will tell you retry. That's it. But now notice one thing. Let us say the error, let's say, happens on the operation part. Okay, here. So it will no longer close the database connection, right? It will find the error, it will jump into the except block, it will say retry, and it will stop. Now let's say now this time the guy who was operating on database, he decides not to work. He decides, no, I'll not do anything more. So I'm trying and it is failing, I'll not do anything. Do you understand the fact that the database connection is never closed? The connection remains open. So just see to this particular example, this closed DB connection you will do under every condition. Whether the case is successful or a failure, database should be closed always. You cannot leave it open. This you can put in finally block. So finally will be executed irrespective of whether there is a exception condition or everything was fine. It will always be executed. So right now here there cannot be any error, but anyway, let us see. So let's set up the DB connection, operate the DB connection, and close the DB connection. Okay. Now let us say just to raise an exception, I myself am writing down something like this: print 20 by 0. Just to 30 by 0, just to raise an exception. Now see, okay. Set up DB connection, operate on the DB, it comes to retry. That means it comes to exception. And then again it says close the DB connection. So this will be anyway done every single time. No matter what is happening. This will always be done. Now let us try to learn a little bit about files. Okay. How we can read files or write files, things like this. Try except will be used over there. When you try to do files, the try except will be used over there. See this thing. So I'm calling this thing file handling. So what we can do with this, we can read, write a file using Python basically, right? So since we can read and write a file, so we can create a file using this. Let's say to write a new file. Right? So I can create a new file. That file can be saved somewhere, right? Especially typically in the project directory. That will be saved somewhere, and you can go ahead and you can kind of read a file. You can get the contents of a file and things like that. So let us try to see how we can do that. So let us say I want to create a text file. Okay, so I'm going to call it. Let's say my file equals to open, and write down the name of the file you want to create, and create a file with the name, let's say my file.txt. And since I want to write it, I'll go for W. So now what will happen? It will open this file and it will start writing whatever I'm writing within this. See how to do it. Actually, if I just run this program and not do anything, see this file has come, my file.txt. It does not have any text, but it has come. If I delete it, now let us try to actually add some elements in this particular file. So I'll write like my file dot write. So to write this one line over there, I'm running this once again. Again, the file comes, open it and see the line is there. Yeah, hi, how are you? That's how easy files are, right? It's extremely easy. Let's try to change it to hello guys. It says hello guys. It does not append with the previously whatever was written. It simply writes hello guys. That's it. Simply writes that. Now let's say instead of doing like this, instead of opening write mode, I want to write in append mode, and I wrote something else. I run it. Come over here. See, this line got added. So now I am adding something. It is getting added over there. Why it is getting added? It is getting added because now you are running in append mode. So if you write in write mode, it will be just writing the data, whatever you're writing, and run in append mode, it will be keeping on adding more and more data within this. So now here we wrote in single line. We could have written in multiple lines also, something like this. Backslash n. That will take you to the next line. And it's I'm writing this time new line. So now you can see it will appear in the new line. Okay, so first it is blank because I deleted that. I did not keep anything. I just gave a new line, so it came to the new line. It wrote the new line. Again, I want to run it. Again, I want to run it 3 times. Let's say new line, new line, new line. It is coming up like this, right? So one after another. So what is happening? Whenever I'm writing new line, this is adding the new line. I ran it multiple times. So A is append mode. So I'm adding with it. If I want to read, I can run in an R mode. R will give me the operation to the functionality to read a particular file, right? So read is once again also okay. I mean that's perfectly fine, right? And how do you read it? So I don't need to do write anymore. I have to go like contents equals to my file dot read. Now if I run this, it is I need to print it somewhere. Print the contents and see the text is coming up. Whatever was written in the file, the text is coming up over here. So in this way, you can read, write, and open a file. Okay, this is how it happens. Now let us say I am deleting this file. Let's say from here, and I want to read in R mode. Okay, I am to open in R mode. Now if I run it, I'll find out what exception, file not found error. So it says that there is no such file. How can you open it up? Because I deleted it. I deleted the file. When you're writing or you're appending, that's fine. But you're trying to read it. How can you read it if the file itself is not there? That means you need to put what? A try except. Sorry. We did not end up with the exit code 1 or something and no such bad stuff. So it is like perfectly fine. Okay, the file got opened and it tried to open the file. It did not find it. It just told the file does not. If file is not found. Now, if I send it in a different way, let's say W. Okay, I can make a big program out of this. Let's say I can put this entire thing in a definition. Define operate file, and I'll take the mode R, W, or whatever, right? So I want to just take this thing. So let us say I want to open it up in whichever mode I want. So I can go like mode. I pass the mode over here. Then we'll check like this. If my file dot mode is R, then I want to read it. So in this way I can check it. Else if my file dot mode, let's say W, then I want to write down something. So then I want to go like my file dot write new line written. For the append case, new line appended. Now that I have written all these things, now I can go ahead, I can try using it. So I can go like operate file, let's say R. it will tell that the file request is not found. If I run in append mode, then see, nothing is coming, absolutely nothing. Let us try to read the file once again, and this time we'll find out this text. New line appended. So because it wrote the line, right? When I added this, it actually wrote the line. New line appended. So if I run it in A mode for let's say a couple of times, right? So you'll find out the new line appended is coming multiple times. Couple of times if you run it, you can run it through a loop also if you want. Now if you open up the R, you'll find out in the same line it will be like new line appended because we never give the backslash n. It will be like adding one right side, keeping on going like that. That is how this particular thing is working. Now let us say I do not want it be like that, so I can just go ahead and I can delete the file. So I'll just it is very easy. Just go ahead and write in write mode. Write will automatically remove the thing, and I want to add backslash n in case of appending, or let's say here at the end I'm adding this. So now that I wrote it, if I read it, you'll find out there is only one line. It says that new line written. Now if I keep on appending more and more lines, so I can just run in A mode, right? 3 times I wrote. So now see this. If I write like this, it is coming. So 3 append that has happened. After writing, first one line appended, again another line appended, again another line. 3 lines got appended after the first writing. This is how you operate on files. Just change the W, A, and R, and you will be able to operate on files. And this is the practical example of try except also.